So if you pay attention to my Alika lessons, I tell y'all all the time that my lessons are from my own experience, even my own detriment, because I have put myself through some horrible lessons by not listening to my own spirit. And so right now, what I'm sharing, my ego doesn't want me to share, but I know it's the right thing to share, because the ego wants to keep me in this persona box of perfection. So I need to share with you how I am not perfect. And I think that's so important, because I practice liquidarianism. I believe in liquidarianism. I have seen it work in my life when I am consistent. Never fails. And I feel my absolute best when I am only ingesting liquids. But I started Ramadan. And have not been consuming until 7 o'clock. That has been my goal. That's been what I've been doing. And then I added water because, of course, I made up the excuse in my head. I didn't have to add water, but I added water. And so that was my first. So I have been still sticking to Ramadan as far as my consumption, in juices or smoothies or whatever. But as of probably like a couple days into Ramadan, it's like I would enjoy making the smoothie so much, or enjoy having the smoothie so much, that after I finish the smoothie, I want to ingest more, right? So then it'll turn into me eating a fruit or a salad. But then that turned into eating pasta and bread, and as of recently, I even had pizza. And so, like I said, my ego doesn't want me to share the side of myself that is imperfect, that is still striving for a better obedience to my spirit. But I am sharing because that is me releasing the control of the ego, and acknowledging that I too am always capable of making mistakes, but the goal is to be disciplined by spirit and not by ego, because the ego will allow you to continue with your BS of convincing yourself that everything you do is okay. But the spirit is just like, no, this is not correct. You are not operating in the correct vibration to become your higher self. And so I am sharing my own mistakes, because I hope that allows anybody who has been following my channel and watching my channel to see that I am a person still operating sometimes under my emotional influence. Because during Ramadan, I have been going through some transitional changes, and also having more responsibility on myself. And also just feeling like I have to take time for me, because I have been shedding so much of my giving that I'm dehydrating myself again. And so I am making this video because there are so many people that can think or watch people who are liquidarians or raw fruit or vegans, raw vegans, even purely raw Christina. I've seen her go through a lot of flack because at one point she gained weight. And you can gain weight eating a raw food diet. So don't get that twisted. It's just how much of the raw foods are you consuming that are like nuts and fats. So you can eat a raw diet and still be consuming wrong. The biggest issue is that we consume too much. We are greedy, and it's not just us. It's the parasites in us that tell us, oh, you're hungry. Oh, we're not done yet. We want to eat more. Oh, I like the way that tastes. Can I taste more of that? So then you end up eating for your taste buds versus consuming because you really need the nutrients. Most of us are not consuming for nutrients. We are consuming for taste. And that is the biggest issue with most of our health. But again, I am sharing because I too have gone through these lessons, and the ego wants to protect that and just say, oh, well, just let them be convinced that you are sticking to this. But see, I don't want to hide behind the ego. I want to share what I'm doing because I am also my own experiment. I am my own experiment, and you are your own experiment. So when you see that your ego is stepping in the way and becoming a problem in your elevation, then it's so important for all of us to acknowledge that our ego is part of our problem. Right? Now, the ego doesn't have to be a problem, but it can be part of the problem when it is defending something that is degrading your soul. Let me say that again. The ego becomes a problem when it is defending something that is degrading your soul.